Welcome to my channel. I am so glad you're joining me today. Today we will be painting this flower vase. This painting idea struck me very randomly and I knew I had to share it with you. It's perfect to loosen up, forget about perfection, and learn more about how watercolors behave. Simple enough for beginners, but also great for those that just want a quick exercise before getting stuck in their projects. So let's just get stuck into it. For this painting, we will be needing the following: A3 piece of watercolor paper, a palette to mix your paints, can be a plate too, different sizes paintbrushes, whatever watercolor you have. I have also used some gouache too, so grab that too if you have, and of course some water. We'll begin by mixing some paints. Here I am mixing some cadmium orange with some burnt sienna. To help me remember what colors I used, I like painting a sample of color on a sheet of paper and writing underneath the acronyms for the colors. This helps me when I run out of specific shade. Next, I'm taking some cadmium orange, which as you can see is old and very stubborn, and mixing it with some bright yellow. And again, I am writing down what colors I used for this shade. This method also helps you see how the colors look like before you start painting with them and whether anything needs fixing. If you want, maybe deepen your shade, make it lighter. Next, I'm using some red with some burnt sienna for a more of a reddish shade. I'm not entirely sure what happened here, but it looks like I mixed some orange with a bit of red. Next, I'm using azure red. Make sure you add enough water to the mix with some burnt sienna and a bit more bright red. Here, I just wanted to test what my pre-mixed orange shades look like. My palette has two orange shades, so I wanted to see which one I prefer. Here, I am mixing some orange with some cadmium yellow. Some azure red with cadmium yellow. You don't have to create as many shades as I'm doing here though. And finally, I'm just popping some plain cadmium yellow and azure red onto my palette for future use. Let's move on to the painting part now. Right, so my camera decided not to film the very beginning. It's a bit frustrating, but I'm just here retracing my steps. Draw a vase with your favorite blue shade. It doesn't need to look exactly like mine. It can be any shape or size. Maybe you want a wobbly, a big oval, whatever shape, maybe a square or a rectangle. Leave the vase with the top open and empty. We'll start adding some flowers now. With some yellowy shade, paint a flower head. It doesn't need to be perfect, just some wavy lines connecting together. We will fill in the inside the same shade and drop an orange color in the middle. Now with your orange/red color, paint just the outline of the flower and add the middle. Your middle could look maybe a little bit different to mine, why not? Grab a different shade and paint another flower just below the outlined one. Add a yellow middle, maybe touch up the first flower too. With the same color, paint an outline of a little flower below. Let's paint a yellow flower at the top and drop a very dark red in the middle for some contrast. With the same red, you can add some extra dots on the other flowers. This will add a bit of texture. If the middle is a bit too small, don't be scared to add a little bit more of red. For some change, I'm painting here with primarily water. It has a bit of color pigment in this wash, but it's very light. You can barely see the flower here. And for some contrast, I'll add some orange. Look how pretty the orange color is spreading. To mix it up, let's paint just the outline of the flower in your chosen color. To spice things up a little bit, let's paint a flower that is slightly drooping on the side. Now pick another spot and paint just the outlines of the flower. We're pretty much working in this manner now until the whole vase is full. Alternate colors, paint full colored flowers or just the outlines, fill in the empty spaces. Let your mind wander and listen to your intuition where to place the flowers. Where does it feel like a good placement? Don't overthink it. You want to relax and enjoy this exercise, not overcomplicate it by overthinking it. You can see me loosely painting these flowers, and sometimes I make mistakes with the number of petals or the placement isn't the best, but it doesn't really matter because I'm thoroughly enjoying this process. You can really start seeing that the painting is really starting to come together. On the lighter flowers, you can practice with a bit of mark making and add some little dots or lines. Also, don't forget that you can paint over the flowers too. I'm not going to lie, my inspiration has been pretty much non-existent recently. We've had very hot weather here in UK and I was trying to survive it. Work and life took over too. But when I saw this picture of vase full of little flowers, I instantly knew I had to paint it and share it with you. Let's add some more marks on some of the flowers. Here I am just messing around with the middle bit. You can do the same or you can do something completely different. A little bit more of mark making here. Some little flowers, as I seem to have a lot of the big ones. My vase is becoming rather full now, so I will soon be done with it and will focus more on mark making. I want to add middle bits to some flowers as well as little dots. These dots, I felt that they need to create this sort of like movement and come outside of the flower. Again, it's just a feeling, and with me loving texture and little details, I'm always on the lookout where I can squeeze in some more extra detail and extra mark. Some more middle bits. This one has some lines, so something a little bit different. More little dots, creating this movement between the flowers. With a color of your choice, you can paint some of these circles. It just adds a little bit of extra something to the overall picture. Vary them in full colored circles as well as just the outline. Work in this manner of adding the middle bit, scattering the dots and painting some circles until you feel that it is enough. Experiment with different circles, different mark making. Even if you think it doesn't look amazing, this is your place to really let go of that perfection. It doesn't matter if some of the flowers don't go together, if some of the mark making seems a bit off, embrace those imperfections. It's part of the journey. I'm nearly done with my mark making and we'll be moving on to adding some stems. But no rush, if you're not done yet, just pause the video and carry on until you feel ready to move on to the next stage. With green, I'm just adding some stems to some of the flowers. I'm just looking which flowers have a bit more extra space and can have a visible stem. You don't need to add stems to every flower, just to some. Also, don't forget that you can paint the stems over some of the flowers. In the next step, I will be using some gouache, but don't worry, if you don't have any, you can still use watercolors, maybe just different shades. For this step, I will primarily use yellow and peach colors, even though I selected a lot of different shades. With yellow, paint some of these very basic three-pointed flowers and fill them in with color. Again, this is just a part of experimentation. I probably wouldn't do that again if I was to paint another one of these vases, but it's part of the process, and with each painting you learn more about yourself, your style and composition. I'm just scattering these flowers everywhere and anywhere, just where I feel like there's a bit of missing spot, maybe a little bit of extra flower could be done. Yeah, just going with the flow a little bit. I will soon be moving on to the background, which is going to be peach colored. If you don't have any gouache, you can experiment with different color background, maybe a different shade of blue than your vase, maybe a deep dark red, maybe a different kind of orange. Have a look what you think would work best with your flowers. Just adding some more marks as I felt some bits looked a bit bare. And now it's time for the background. I honestly find this part just so relaxing as all you have to do is go around the vase and just paint in the same color. Once upon a time, none of my paintings had any background as it was something that I was very uncomfortable with. I had a complex about it and just felt that my backgrounds always looked a little bit off until what time I just embraced it, and you know what, ever since I can't seem to be able to paint anything without a background. Let's go over with a smaller paintbrush between the flowers to fill in those empty spaces. Now I felt that my background was a little bit empty, and to be honest, I really wanted to experiment with adding some marks, so I just went for it. If you don't feel like adding anything extra to your background, then you can just skip this step. I chose some blue for my background mark making. With the blue, I am painting these arches. I'm going to continue in this manner over the entire background. I'm really loving the way it's starting to look. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and been able to really let go of that perfection. This is just a fun little exercise to explore watercolors more, see how they behave and understand more about composition and object placement. I already have an idea for a similar painting, just using a different method. I'll give you a little hint. It might involve a little bit of collage. If you end up doing this exercise, don't hesitate to share it on social media and tag me in. You can find me both on Instagram and TikTok at One Tooth Moose. However, I'm not as present on TikTok as I am on Instagram at the moment. However, I do try to make an effort to reply to all the comments and see all the messages. And here is the finished piece. I really love it. I hope that you do too. Meet me in my next episode where we will take this to another level with a bit of collage. That's it for now. Bye bye.